You're listening to the smartest guys in marketing, the best show on the planet for client businesses to learn about traffic, funnels, sales, conversions, and marketing coolness. Chris and Taylor are the founders of Traffic and Funnels, a digital marketing consultancy helping you get paid clients from cold traffic daily. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smartest Guys in Marketing podcast, the only podcast that you should ever listen to. Here with your hosts, Chris Evans and Taylor Welch. What is up?
Dude, I hit unsubscribe on every other podcast but our own. I listen to our own podcast because we're the smartest guys in marketing.
Me too. Not only that, but I left negative reviews on every podcast.
Dude, so the call to action for today is leave negative reviews on every other podcast and leave positive reviews on this one.
Yeah, at least once a day.
Not really. So this is a mini. We're talking about fake news.
Fake
in marketing.
News. What is that about?
It's all the rage right now, man. Fake news. Basically, type up a story that's not real, put it out there. And we have no political affiliation at all. I don't even know where this came from, but I just know that fake news is hot. So I figured we'd grab it while it's hot. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds really good. Fake news.
Fake news in marketing. So we're going to talk about how to spot and identify fake news in marketing. This is really important because I don't know how many advertising messages it is at this point. It's like, 15,000 a day or something stupid like that. But if you don't have a way to actually vet and make sure that the messages you're listening to are accurate, then you're going to make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
It's very true.
And
this goes along with some of the other stuff we're going to talk about in the next podcast, actually.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, bro.
I'm looking at the next podcast.
I'm trying to get them to listen to the next podcast, and you're ruining that right now.
That's fake news. What
perfect
Chris
example
just did is fake news. Nah, so we all hear the stories, and we see all the gurus, and they're like, I just did $8 billion on this recent launch, and they're all driving Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces. And so just two things today, two examples for you. And after those two examples, just some of our philosophy and like how we study people, because I think that's important. Like Chris, like when we see an ad, we can tell almost within almost immediately, like, okay, this person doesn't know what they're talking about, or this person's legit. Because there's like a feel. You ever read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink? Mm-hmm. Blink. You have to snap after you say the word, blink. He talks about how, people make decisions subconsciously from a whole host of information. So we kind of have that. We'll kind of transfer that to you. So let's talk about, first of all, these launches that are going on.
I've been involved with a lot of those.
Tell us about it.
Well, there's a lot of big talk about, I think there's a lot of measuring in the marketing business world with launches. For the longest time, people were just trying to one up each other. And so I think it's really easy for people to bend the truth. And I think one lesson that I've learned from this, being on the inside of many launches, is rather than following marketers or internet marketers and trying to basically reproduce who they are, that's just not a good way to go. And so what I've seen is like looking at legit businesses who have been in the field for a long time, have had steady growth, because I don't ever think it's a great way to build a business off of launches, like continual launches.
Yeah.
So,
and
so much
they're
is
not
just
even
bull crap.
Yeah. So let's break it down. Like, let's say you do $1 million launch, which isn't the best, but it's decent.
That sounds awesome, right?
You're like, oh my gosh, $1 million. So with launches, what's the main way that you use to get traffic? It's affiliates.
Affiliates.
And so affiliates, you're going to cut off 50% of your revenue right away.
So can we real quick, and I pause there and just talk about like the skill level that's required to get clients, get customers via a paid acquisition channel.
Versus, does your shirt have a cactus on it?
Bro, I'm repping Texas today. Yeah.
Severely disappointed. All right, guys. Continue. Sorry.
That had nothing like great to do with this podcast, bro. And
it just makes me second guess. Everything.
You brought it down 3 notches, dude. At least. I've heard a lot of compliments on this shirt.
Yeah, whatever. That's fake news,
bro. Let's talk about your shirt. Your shirt.
Mine doesn't have anything on it. It's not fake news.
It looks like you just wore it at the gym, bro.
So that's the skill level.
That shirt looks like it's Jacob's shirt. It's like so tight on you.
If you guys are watching the video, then you'll see that my shirt is professional and it does the job. Okay.
I don't know.
Back to you.
Yeah. So the skill level that's required to get clients versus, from a paid channel versus affiliates is way higher, man. Like you got to know your stuff. Like you have to really know your market. You have to make sure that all your tech works and, you're really dialed in. So it's a lot easier to get clients and customers with affiliates, but I don't think it's necessarily sustainable for the long term. And many cases, not scalable.
Yeah. So $1 million launch, 50% of that's going to go to affiliates. If you have a great reputation, then maybe you can get away with paying like 40%, but let's just call it 50 because most of the time that's what it is. Was that what it was most of the time with your launches?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 50%. And then people still, if they're using affiliates, they'll run a budget to traffic for like retargeting, things like that. Mm-hmm. So let's say 10% went to traffic or maybe 5% with the traffic. It really doesn't matter. We're just giving you the averages. And then most of the times with these launches, the way that they stack their numbers so high is they're doing payment plans, but they're giving you the numbers of revenue generated, not revenue collected. So what percentage would you say of your launches were payment plans?
I'd say at a minimum 30%.
What is the 30%?
That were payments, if not 40.
So 40% of all sales were on 40% were payment plans, not full pays.
Correct.
On a minimum.
Yep.
Okay. So then what about collections? Do you ever have people that you don't collect on? It's on a payment plan?
Yeah, for sure. And then the work that's involved in collections is crazy.
Yeah. So then like profit margin, if you subtract 50, then 10, then let's say 30% of those are on payment plans. What would you say the percentage of collections is? Like 5%?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So now we're down to like 65% is basically an expense cut off the top. And then you've got the rest is in payment plans. So when someone says they did $1 million launch, they may have only actually deposited $100,000 into their bank account because the rest was getting put out via payments and they got to pay on those every month. Fake news. So when we say we did, $400,000 or $500,000, what we mean is like we collected that, right?
Yes.
Are you okay, bro?
Dude, I'm so good right now.
You're just like, I told you guys, like you're like dreamy.
I don't know if I told you guys, but I bought an espresso machine. So I'm just over here enjoying my espresso.
Nobody cares. So
Taylor doesn't know about that.
That's one example with the launch. You also got the people who are like renting cars and renting houses. And I don't mean like leasing them. I mean, we know of people who actually rent a car for a day to record a video and act like it's theirs. The internet marketing world is just perverse. It's like scamming.
Bunch of perverts. They're just a bunch of perverts.
Bunch of pervs. And the fastest way to identify all of this and kind of look at this is just to kind of, first of all, you want to vet someone and see what people say about them, but you also want to hack into their personal lives if you can. So when people see ads of us, like the best thing that people do is they need to get on our personal walls. They need to connect with us as people and actually see what we talk about. Follow someone on Instagram, follow someone on their personal profile, see how they interact in a non-advertising spotlight. Does that make sense?
The thing that's hilarious to me is when people see an ad and you can tell that they're really ignorant or they're just stupid by their initial comment. Like I might see an ad and say, okay, well, these people don't look legit, but I'm not necessarily going to just go comment on their ad and say it's a scam unless it's Adam's ad,
Adam Linkenauer.
So it's really interesting.
Just from that name.
I mean, that's like the scamiest name I've ever heard.
Anyways.
But it's important to observe people and not just like, don't be stupid and just spout out like what you think about someone. Because honestly, you probably don't have the whole picture about them.
Yeah. What would be better is to just go find them and connect with them and kind of see how they live. Like if you've got somebody who runs an ad and they say that they make $1 million a month, and then you go to their personal profile and the only thing that they post about is like Donald Trump, or they don't post anything at all. I'm not saying that they're fake news, but I'm saying that's something you got to be careful of because there's no story in their life.
Yeah, meaning they don't have any leadership.
They're not leaders. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're doing $1 million a month, it's going to get to that place, you've probably been beaten up a bit. There's going to be some experience that you can see. Either those people are living or through video or their posts or family or friends. Usually they're not just going to be talking about Donald or Obama all the time or like the newest, coolest rap video.
Yeah. You just want to be able to vet somebody by looking at the whole picture, their whole life. How do they interact?
I mean, another way, this is another way that Taylor does it is go to their house and look through their windows at night.
I don't do that at all. Look through the windows at night? Like, gosh, dude, that is so messed up. I hope you've never done that. Hey, let's talk about the flip side
Just
real
once.
fast. Let's talk about the flip side of this.
Okay.
There is a believability zone in every market. And so just like you can look at someone and not believe, let's say you look at someone and you don't believe their ads. There's a chance, one chance is that they're lying, which what Chris is saying is you don't want to just get on there and be like, liar, you're a scam. You want to check them out first. But the other side is maybe that they haven't really tapped into the believability zone of their market. And so like, we don't really advertise the revenue that we do on our paid traffic.
Right.
Because people lose their GD minds. Like they don't understand. So like one of our main hooks.
Say that on this podcast?
Yeah. GD. It means like good dad.
I don't think that's what it means, bro.
They lose their good dad minds. One of our main hooks is talking about how you can build a client business to like $100K a month. And man, people get on there like, there's no way you can do that much money. There's not even that much money in the world, man. It's like, there's no way we can advertise the fact that we do 5 times that. So I think that there's also something to be said for knowing, okay, what's too far for your market and staying inside of that.
Yep. Yeah, that's why a lot of times it's better just to keep it easy and simple. We talk about this quite a bit. Like the one headline, you wrote kind of like an old school headline that was like grab them by the throat and
it was amazing.
It was
like grab your best prospects, throw them underwater, force them to give you their credit card.
Waterboard them. Torture them in Gitmo. Get them.
And then Chris is like, ads is good. People register for that one.
They're like, yes, sign me up.
Hillbilly's Southern language.
It works.
Anyways, one last thing before we let you go on this fake news. The more presence somebody has online, typically the more trustworthy they can be. So I can't say that enough. Like, find everything you can about somebody. Like for us, dude, like we don't just like run traffic to a webinar and then pick clients off of that. And it's like we live in some basement out in like the hills of Montana. Like, dude, we've got memos that people purchase from us. We are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We have Instagram accounts. We have actual lives. And we have wives that tell us what to do with our money. So like you can go and you can look at Chris's 17 kids. He like runs a feeding camp out of his basement for all his children. My point is
call it tax break, bro.
My point is you got to be able to check out if someone's the real deal. And with today's like social media climate, there's no excuse for leaders to be hiding in bunkers, just traffic to webinar to client. And I'm not saying you have to get on social media and flash everything. Don't be flashing people, Chris, but
this is turned into an episode about how not to be a pervert.
Well, you started it.
Taylor
looks in people's windows.
That brings up an interesting point of like people who use cartoons in their profile pics and they don't have real pictures
or cats.
or cats.
I was in a Tesla group the other day and someone was like, I don't like the Model S, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you should have thought about that before you bought it. And then he gets back on and he is like, okay, Elon worshiper. And I was like, bro, your profile picture is you kissing a giraffe. You're intellectually disqualified to talk about anything.
Oh, man.
That stuff matters, guys. All right, we're losing the ship. Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
That's it.
Any last words of wisdom?
I don't think we can squeeze any more juice out of this one, man.
Okay, cool.
All right, man. Yeah, I have some wisdom.
Well,
we've been posting some pretty good stuff in our Smartest Guys in Marketing group.
That's not wisdom, dude. That's a problem.
So here's the wisdom. You should go join that. Because we're always going to like try, and probably to our disadvantage at sometimes, to give you guys the goodies. Like the bright idea we had to create a monthly subscription that we write every month about our business and send you in the mail for $7. So, but we love talking business and marketing. So we said, hey, this would be a great idea to spend all of our time writing this thing that we don't make any money on. So you guys can get that at travelingfunnels.com/memos.
Super original.
Yep.
That's it. That was great wisdom. All right, we'll see you guys next time. We're talking about two super secret stuff. I can't even tell you on this. All right. See you guys.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.